All right, hello, welcome to this Facebook Live. I felt inspired to tune in today to come share on what's alive in this lunar energy with the divine feminine archetype. So, um, many of you who are in this community know that I've been walking the path of the priestess for some years now, and I've been training as initiate in the 13 Moon Mystery School lineage. And I'm so excited to be bringing that work a little bit deeper into this temple. We are the Wild Moon Sisters, and the moon is so alive, and I haven't been incorporating the moon regularly into this group, and I want to change that. I want to start connecting more with the lunar energy in this group in a very specific way. And I want to do it in a way that's aligned with the divine feminine archetypes through the wheel of the year. So there are 13 lunar cycles, and that is associated with the 13 different faces of goddess, and each face of goddess has her own frequency. And when you follow the wheel of the year, it doesn't align perfectly with the solar calendar, and that's okay. We just have to adapt and be flexible. But right now, where we are on that wheel of the year, as we're going through the whole cycle and these different faces of goddess that are associated with each of the 13 moons, as we go through the wheel of the year, they hold the energy and the frequency of what's happening throughout that year. They connect into the seasons of spring and summer and winter and fall, and they connect just thematically to larger pictures. And so they're really potent to work with. They're just amazing, and they've totally changed my life. And right now, we just started a new cycle with this 13 moon calendar. And right now, we are with the Great Mother. So, in the lineage that I'm a priestess initiate of, we are in the Great Mother Temple. And what that means, the Great Mother Temple, she is that energy of the one who is the holder of all. And the Great Mother it's so interesting because the way that we walk, and you can think of the Great Mother as an archetypal energy that exists within you. And I don't want to get beyond that in this video because I could spend hours and hours and hours talking about the Great Mother, but I want to explain it as an archetypal frequency that lives within you. So the Great Mother has a wound and a shadow. She has a light and a shadow. When the Great Mother, just like the archetypes of the zodiac, they all have qualities when they're in their light and when they're in their shadow. So when the Great Mother energy is in her light, she is the frequency of unconditional love. She is that frequency who can embrace all and who can hold all. She is that frequency of the womb. She is amazing. And when she's in her shadow, as she lives through you, what can happen is she can become resentful. She can feel overburdened with responsibility. She can feel like she has too much going on, that she has too much weight, and that she's caring for the needs of everyone else. This can create a feeling of inner scarcity, that there's not enough for you to feel supported, to feel held. And so, how does this relate to your ability to receive, money, to receive intimacy? When you're not connected to this frequency of the Great Mother within, and you're not trusting, because the foundation of being connected with this frequency of earth is trust. If you're not trusting, then you have nothing to surrender to be able to receive. And so when you don't allow yourself to let go and to trust and to be held, then what happens is it's harder for you to actually receive what you want. And it becomes this mentality of, I can do this alone. I can walk this path alone. I can forge forward on my own. Or it kind of becomes this narrative of always being the lone wolf. always being the one who is the caretaker of all, kind of like that martyr syndrome. And so that's what can happen when this frequency, as it lives through you, is not in balance. So it can kind of create two. It can go like with on the one end of the spectrum where everything is, I can do everything on my own. I'm independent. I'm this independent warrioress, which is not bad. It's just, it is what it is. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, there's this codependency where, you know, you don't feel sovereign, you don't feel capable, you don't feel able. And there's this feeling that you always have to be dependent on someone or something else to receive, to feel complete, to feel whole. And so being on either end of those spectrums isn't the healthiest. True independence really is the recognition that there is interconnectivity, that there is interdependence, that there is a networking, that there is a weaving together of all of these resources and all of these beings, spiritual, physical resources, money, all of these things that are here to support you. So when you connect with this great mother frequency and you look at the place inside that feels abandoned, because the great mother archetype brings up this feeling of abandonment. And what happens when you don't address that is it can lead to those polarities of the I'm going to do everything alone and the I'm super interdependent. And neither of those leave a whole lot of spaciousness for you to actually receive surprises, for you to actually receive your desires, for you actually to receive your goals, for you to actually deepen into intimacy. So I want to use an example of what this would look like if you were walking the path of sacred business and you had the mentality of this abandonment wound of the great mother in her shadow energy of feeling like you have to do everything on your own and that you're super independent. What that could look like in sacred business. So it could look like the feeling of just not being supported as you're creating your offerings. It could be this feeling of not being supported financially, not being supported by money, not being supported with mentorship, not being supported with resources. Just this feeling of, wow, I have all of this stuff to do. Because right when you walk the path of business, there's so much going on and there's so many things to think about and there's so many components. So when you have that super I'm kind of alone in this mentality, what happens is it becomes a lot harder. And when you allow yourself to surrender and to receive, which is what the great mother energy wants to support you to do, when you allow yourself to surrender and to receive, I want to talk about what that could look like if you are deepening into receiving through sisterhood. So if you were deepening into receiving through sisterhood on this sacred path of business, that could look like creating a network, creating a hive, creating a experience where you are walking alongside, where you are walking with, where sisters are amplifying one another, where sisters are celebrating one another, where when things feel really tough and you're feeling initiated, where you're feeling challenged and things get really hard in your business, like maybe you didn't meet your income goals, or maybe you're just feeling totally burnt out, or maybe you're having some technological difficulties, whatever it is, that when you have a sisterhood, you can go to that sisterhood and say, this is what's going on in my life. And you get the opportunity to be witnessed where you are, what you're going through, and you have the opportunity to ask for support. so that when you go through that path of business, that it doesn't feel like you have to do it all on your own, and that, when we do it all on our own, things just take a little bit longer. But when we surrender and allow ourselves to receive support, life just becomes easier. Business becomes easier. Sometimes it's just energetic holding, because we're energetic beings that most of the time, when we're not in energetic alignment, that's kind of everything. And so if you're in a funk where you're having a hard time showing up in business or whatever it is, when you're in sisterhood, you have all of these people holding space for you energetically, even if you're not physically together. You have all of these people holding space for you, and they want you to succeed, right? They're your support team that can release some heaviness to make it easier to gain momentum forward. So that's just a really tangible example of how the abandonment wound can show up, and it can create this energy of being alone, being abandoned, feeling over responsible and overburdened, and what it could be like if you allow yourself to soften and to surrender and to receive the support of sisterhood. And so I really just wanted to let you know that there is an invitation for that to become a reality right now. There is an invitation to step into a sisterhood who is here to amplify your soul's sacred work, who is here to support you along the path of sacred business, so that you are co-birthing, that you are bringing your creations into the world with support, that you're gaining energy and momentum in sisterhood, with mentorship, with a structure, with support. And if you want to step into that this lunar cycle, we are working with the Great Mother energy. And when you step into Goddess Collective, there are actually meditation recordings and ceremonies and PDFs to help you deepen in with the Great Mother energy to support you. And we do that every single month. So today is the last day to step into Goddess Collective for 50% off. So you could literally step in to this support system, this support network, to help you gain momentum in your sacred business for less than $40 a month as an investment. So if you want to step in, I will put the link here in a comment, and you can step in now, or send me a message if you have any questions about this. Go ahead and send me a message. And tonight at midnight is the last opportunity to step in for 50% off. So I just wanted to make sure that you were aware, in case you're really needing the support, because I know there are so many women who are part of this sisterhood who are offering their healing gifts and their healing arts, and who are maybe doing it as a hobby, who are maybe doing it kind of part-time, who are maybe feeling challenged by this path of business. And I want it to be where, as you are offering your gifts and you're showing up to bring your medicine and your magic to the world, that you're feeling supported. That's the true essence of what this sisterhood is. And if that's who you are, I really wanted to offer this discount to make it a no-brainer. Really easy for you to say yes, and really easy for you to step in. Okay, so I'm really excited to hear your feelings about this Great Mother energy, if you work with the archetypes, if you work with the lunar cycle, anything like that, and how you're doing. So anyways, I hope you have a beautiful day, and sending you so much love and so many blessings.